The mysterious phenomenon known as crop circles has perplexed investigators around the globe. But does the evidence stand up to the test of science? Biophysicist Dr. W.C. Levengood believes that it not only deserves the attention of scientists, he has dedicated part of his life to unraveling the mystery. Join us as this Paranormal TV One-on-One explores the work of Dr. W.C. Levengood.
I first heard about the crop circles through a couple of television documentaries on the subject, and I found them extremely interesting and intriguing. I didn't have any preconceived notion as to what the crop circles were before I started the investigation. In fact, I went into it intentionally with no preconceived notion. I simply wanted to find out if there was some effect on the plants in these formations. This whole investigation can be called an exploratory type of research, where you go in and you don't particularly look for anything. My primary interest was to find out if there was some physiological or some evidence of changes or damage to the plants in the crop circles. The first samples were on the surface. There appeared to be nothing unusual. Now, these were from two crop circles formed in England at locations approximately 50 miles apart. And the first thing you do, of course, is look at the external appearance of the plants. As I looked at these heads, there appeared to be absolutely nothing abnormal. And in fact, in the controls, which were the normal plants taking outside the formation, there weren't. Now, this is one of these control series here, and as you'll see, the seeds are what we think of as normally developed wheat seeds. And I fully expected to find a normal seed inside. But I was very surprised to note that instead of the normal seed, there was a condition that's known as polyembryony. Now, each one of these glooms or husks had within it, instead of one embryo that formed the seed with the fat endosperm around it, there were only embryos had formed, but not one, but sometimes 3 or 4. You can get this through very strange crossings of two different species of plants, that is, wheat with another species. Well, that seemed like a pretty illogical explanation for this, but you can also get this through ionizing radiation. The most important thing was that here you have a very specific alteration in the embryo and its subsequent development. Now, for these to have occurred, this formation must have been formed at about the time of anthesis, or at the time of flowering and fertilization of the plant. So that this is a very sensitive time for the embryo. Now, the one most unusual thing about this was that we not only saw it in one of these crop circles, we saw it in both of the crop circles. This happened to be one that was coded circle A, and in circle B, which, as I previously mentioned, was about 50 miles apart, we saw exactly the same thing. There's some pretty severe energy input here that can drastically alter the fundamental biochemical pathways that are occurring in the seed as it develops.